think about it. You see these commercials, progressive commercial. Who do you see? Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield's on a lot of commercials. You don't see a lot of these NFL guys on commercials, but you see Baker Mayfield. So there's a lot of animus towards these guys, and they're just getting a lot of ink, and people are just fed up with it. So Baker's not doing himself any favor by not going the sportsmanship route because they're already trying to tear your head off. Number one, and they might be a tad bit jealous because you're getting endorsement deals. Number two, you got to go perform. But at the end of the day, man, be a good dude on the field.
Now, Jimmy, we there now. We there now.
Yeah, okay.
And what had happened, Jimmy? What? And I can explain. We can talk about this. It's a chop shop. Well, I went live on my personal page or on R&B Project page. So we here now, and I didn't prepare that. It's just so much. This new technology, Chris, is overwhelming me here, and I did. But let's get back to the show. Where you want to go next, Jimmy?
Yeah. And so next what we're gonna do, Howard, just in case people forgot, and I know somebody took off running. Took off running yesterday. That is we're gonna recap the NFL picks from yesterday.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
How did you do this weekend, Chris, on your picks?
Listen, to be honest with you, I was so busy doing the Lord's work that I didn't know what was going on.
So let me help you out. Let me help you out then, Chris. Okay. I can help you out.
Right? Help a brother out, man. A brother always needs help.
That's just what I'm gonna do. And on Thursday, right? Chris had the Rams. I had Seattle. And man, it came down to a 2-point conversion. And because I had Seattle and gave him 1.5 points. And boy, and I tell you, when Seattle didn't make that doggone 2-point conversion, I've done. But anyway, they pulled off the win, and I lost that one. Atlanta and Houston, Chris won that one 53-32. He gave me 5 points. I lose that one.
Man, I'm 2-0. Keep going.
Check this out. Watch this, Howard. All y'all, you guys, watch this. On Sunday, Oakland, he had Oakland, I had Chicago, right? I had Chicago, and I gave him 5. How about Chicago? Oakland won the game head up 24-21. So Chris wins that. What's the score now, Chris?
3-0, man, or 4-0. I like my odds right now.
So then the next game comes along, and Minnesota beats the New York Giants 28-10. I had Minnesota, gave him 5 points. I win that one. What's the score, Chris?
You know what the score is. Keep it going.
3-1. Next game, Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Baltimore gave Pittsburgh 3.5 points, yet Baltimore won the game 26-23. Once again, Las Vegas got me. A half point. Chris Walker wins that one. Now the score is what?
4-1, beating the snot out of you. Keep it going.
Next game, Carolina and Jacksonville. Carolina continues to roll 34-27.
Without Cam Newton, by the way.
Without
Cam Newton, 3 in a row.
Watch your mouth, boy. Watch your mouth.
Michael Vick said he'll never he'll never play quarterback for the Panthers again. I don't know.
And guess what? And Chris Walker picks up that win. And what's the score now, Chris?
Cinco de Mayo. Okay, you know what it is.
That's 6-1.
Oh, it's 6-1. Oh, I thought it was 5-1. Okay, keep going.
No, I'm sorry, 5-1. You're right. 5-1. 5-1. 5-1 at that point, Howard. And you notice how Chris knows the score whenever he gets the game.
Wait a minute. 5-1. Chris winning?
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm trying to figure out how he did this Rosewood math. I'm about to hit his Rosewood math. Keep going.
Come on. Let's go.
The next game was Buffalo in Tennessee, and Buffalo won 14-7. I had Buffalo in 3, so I win that game. What's the score now?
I wins that.
You know what the score is, man. Keep it going.
What's the score now? It's 5-2?
5-2.
Okay. Next up, New Orleans and Tampa Bay. New Orleans wins 31-24. Chris had Tampa Bay in 3.5. I'll pick up the spread on that. So what's the score now, Adam? 5-3. Okay, because I know Chris got amnesia. He's not going. Next up was the New England Patriots 33-7 over Washington. I took the Patriots and gave up the 15.5 points, and of course prevailed on that. So now the score is 5-4.
5-4.
So now,
It's that second half that always gets me. Those second half games.
Next up, Arizona and Cincinnati, right?
Ooh.
Chris gave me Arizona in 3.
What? I told him.
Arizona won by I should have gave him 3. But anyway, I picked up the win on that, and guess what it is now, Hatter? It's 5-5. And just like that, 5-5. Here's
all them sorry teams. Keep going.
Okay, next up was the Philadelphia Eagles, 31-6 over the Jets. Chris took the Jets in 14 points because he's in New York. And guess what? So now we have a new leader. It's 6-5. And I'm rolling. Then next up was the 3:00 games. Denver over the Chargers, 20-13. Guess what Las Vegas did for him? Chris took the Chargers and gave me 6.5. Hell, I won by 7.
Well, hold on, but you talking about a team that hadn't won a game all year at the Chargers with Melvin Gordon playing his first game. Come on, man.
And guess what? Guess what? 7-5, Howard. I'm the new leader. I'm rolling. Next up was guess what? His beloved the Dallas Cowgirls. 24-34 defeat to the Packers of Green Bay. I had Green Bay in 3.5. And guess what? The score is now 8-5.
Can I make a confession? Hey, can I make a confession?
Yeah.
I felt bad for the Dallas Cowboys the other day.
Why?
I don't know. It's just something inside of me. I just felt bad for Dak. I told you, Dak stock was dropping worse than the Lehman Brothers back in 2008. Dude, his stock is dropping, man.
No, come on, man.
Hey, Jimmy, I don't mean to interrupt, but Jimmy, you remember when I told you those 3 teams they played in the beginning, they were a combined 2-12? And the last 2 teams they played were a combined 8-2. It's a big difference who you play. But go on, finish, Jimmy. I'm sorry, baby.
So now the last game was Indianapolis Colts. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs 19-13. Kansas City gave up 11 points. I took Kansas City, gave Chris 11. He prevailed on that, and the final tally is 8-6 in favor, and that makes me improve to 3-0 in the Chop Shop League play.
Man,
Chris Walker's in second place.
Fabrication, man.
Chris Walker's in second place with a 1-2 record, and Hatter's 0-2. And myself and Hatter will battle again this weekend on Thursday. Stay tuned for that. Those picks. And once again, this is all good stuff, guys, and it's good faith. And so what you do is you make sure you join us and share your thoughts with us. And help us along the way. Now, last night, the Houston Rockets made their preseason debut on the court, preseason that is, with the Russell Westbrook and James Harden. The Rockets were leading comfortably toward the end of the third quarter. James Harden did not play in the fourth quarter. Toronto, the Raptors, proceeded to outscore the Rockets like 42-25 in the fourth, without James Harden on the court. And nobody understands something. Preseason wins are good if you're trying to win. If you're not playing your star in the fourth quarter, then you're not trying to win. So the Rockets, that mattered less. They will play another game against Toronto. These games are taking place in Japan.
Yes.
And in one of the sites that will be for the Olympics in 2020. And there hasn't been a game from the NBA in Japan, guys, since 2003. Since 2003. So it was a nice crowd on hand. And now, for Russell Westbrook, he had 13 points in 21 minutes. Mm-hmm. Right? James Harden had 34 points in 27 minutes.
Whoa. Yeah, what?
34 points in
and
27.
You say he didn't play the fourth quarter?
He didn't play the fourth quarter.
Chris Walker.
Hey man, you
That
already
sounds
know what I got to say about
that
you know
that
what I got to
sounds
say about James Harden.
that
Better
sounds
leave that
like some of
alone,
that
man.
LJ Crowder stuff. But keep going, Jim.
Oh man, there you go.
Hey, Chris,
Oh,
somebody called me. Jimmy, somebody texted me last night, said, Chris didn't say much yesterday, Mr. Hatter. And I told him you had to go to a meeting and, you didn't. So I gave you an excuse because, that
Oh, oh,
45,
I didn't say much about what.
about that 40, we found out Jimmy gave me the official score sheet. It was a 45 piece that LJ put on them boys the other day.
See,
So
it's funny how hey Hatter, hey
yeah.
Jimmy, you know we say give me the same energy. You know you always say give me the same
yeah,
energy, Jim.
yeah.
Hatter got that. He's one way. I'm gonna call him Camp One Way. Remember John Lucas had Camp Right Way.
Yes,
We're
sir.
gonna call Hatter Camp One Way because he always going one way. But I know one thing though. I don't want to get nobody started up.
What?
I was in Dallas this weekend. I saw
We
Keontae
don't-
George. We saw Keontae George. Although Hatter. I
Okay.
can't wait till the hoops given. Is it hoops given?
Yes, sir.
When Keontae George? When they play each other?
Hoops giving.
No, that's it. That's at the Thanksgiving Hoop Fest.
Yeah, man, all of these hoops, man. Can't nobody keep up with all this mess. Y'all got
Bruh, let me
wait
tell you
a minute. Hold up. Jimmy, yours
me tell you
called Hoops Giving.
Yeah.
Glenn's called a Hoop Fest. What is Rick's event called?
Rick's is the
See, I can't keep up. See, you can't even keep up with it, and that's what you do. Y'all got too many hoop stuff going on. So you finished talking about James Harden in Westbrook because I don't want Chris gonna mess the thing up.
yeah. I mean, I got some picture of James Harden. Guess what else? In that 34 points, guess what he did? He was 11 for 14 from the field. Only took 14 shots to get the 34 points. And now that's about as efficient as it gets for the beard. So I mean, it's once again the Rockets will be back in action on
Texas Jamboree, man. Texas Jamboree. We got to give Rick some love, man.
Okay,
Rick,
Texas Jamboree. I just didn't know the
tried to
name
cut,
of it.
He tried to cut our water off. I know how you danced over that Keontae George thing. I noticed how you did that, Jimmy. I saw the boy play for the first time.
We're talking about pro basketball
two
right
words. Okay, my bad.
That's
I
all.
saw the boy play this weekend. I got two words.
what you got?
Oh we. That's all I gotta say.
All
We.
right. Hey,
Oh, wait.
That's all right.
Now hold on. Now explain to them
Jimmy,
who
come
King
on,
St. George is.
Jimmy.
I mean, he's a kid from Dallas that everyone is. I guess he and Bryce Griggs are Superman and Batman. But we got to find out in November which one is Superman and which one is Batman. Because that's difference between Superman and
Why
Batman.
can't both of them be Batman? I mean, both of them be
Huh?
Superman. Wait a minute, who is the best? Who is the best, Superman or Batman?
Whoa.
I'm
Oh,
just
come on
asking
now.
you. I'm
Listen,
talking
one of them is a rich white dude, and the other one is all powerful. So if you
Okay,
saying being rich and white, like 45 in the White House, is all powerful,
I got a question.
There you go.
Is
then.
it possible for both of them to be Superman and we be all right?
Nah, oof.
Is it
Listen,
possible?
I haven't.
I know y'all
love.
don't think
hold
like
up.
that.
I love Bryce Griggs. I just hadn't seen him since last
I know
year.
you haven't. That's
but
all right.
but what I saw this weekend,
I got something for you.
okay.
I got something
If Bryce is better than him, Hatter, we're gonna have a phone call after this over because I need to get on staff. That's all I'm saying. hey, you know what? Because I was over there talking with RJ Hampton, Daddy. We was watching the game, and I'm like, I need to get with Hatter because it's kind of thick up in here right now. That's all I got to say. I'm gonna leave that alone.
You know what's so unique? I'm gonna show you something so unique, and I'm glad you brought that up. And we ain't gonna hop on it. We'll hop on it when we're talking about the amateur sports. But it's so unique. A kid, we can talk all of this stuff, but I'm in the gym the other day just minding my business. Bryce Griggs not even playing in the event, in Jimmy's event, right? Do you know it's about 10 grown guys got in a circle, and guess it's a game was going on, and guess who their conversation was about? Bryce Griggs. That's what's so special about this situation. You can say what you want to, but when you got people talking about you, Chris Walker, because they didn't talk about you much when you was in high school, and I understand.
Boy, you better talk to that dude on the other screen right there, boy. But
It's very unique. Now. It's very unique. You cannot be in the gym. Hold up, Jimmy. Hold up. Was Bryce up in Dallas?
No.
in Dallas. So guess what? We had Chris Walker, Ron Hampton, and everybody in that crew.
Stacey Houston,
Yeah,
Glenn. I was with Glenn too.
Think about what you're saying, Chris. This kid was in the gym getting his workout this weekend, and y'all up there talking about him.
Well,
so guess what? No. It's a good
Nobody
thing.
was negative.
No.
Was negative.
Jim, you're not hearing me. But y'all in his mouth. What they said? He's in y'all's mouth. So y'all don't talk about no sorry players, I don't think.
No. We don't do that. But I know. And Jimmy, somebody was on your head too, by the way, Jimmy. I'm not gonna say who it is. I'm not gonna say who it was. Jim? I mean, Doc Newsom was there. I know he on the feed right now. But John Uri. Oh, did I say his name? Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Let's keep going though.
Come on.
Let's keep it going.
John
Uri. He said his kid. Are you ranked? Where are his kids ranked in the RCS? Chris Munch. Now, y'all, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later.
So once again, does it go back to the theory that I asked? Who in Dallas ranks the kids locally? So that's the excuse. Because the reason I keep asking you guys that is because if that's what I need to do, just stop rankings altogether. Then what's going to be the excuse? Know what's going to happen then? I promise you the city will never be the same. You know what's going to happen then? Somebody going to do him. You're going to like that guy, then you're going to hate him. Then the next guy going to come along and do him. You're going to like that guy and go hate him. And then at the same time, John Uri is just John Uri. And we said that. John Uri has little to no credibility in 2019.
Wow, stop it. He wasn't, don't kill him like that.
In 2019, he has little to no credibility. You know why?
He said his kids are pretty good, and people don't know that his kids are good.
No, they do. He's going to make sure you know. And what happens is when a kid does not good, John will want you to give him a mulligan. Not you giving him a mulligan on your own. He wants you
mean like how to be giving people mulligans? Oh, okay, my bad. Okay, keep
so
going.
That's what I'm saying about credibility. But here's the thing.
Man,
a lot of times the things that John Uri would promote is his opinion. And it's with a very little fact. Mm-hmm. Me, I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to come back and bring you some receipts. You see what I'm saying? And then when I bring those receipts, remember, this is the same camp a year ago John took Josh Farmer to. We all were there a year ago. We saw what Josh Farmer did not do and what he did do at Pango's camp 1 year ago. And he got penciled into the top 30 game. In the top 30 game, he scored 4 points. Mm-hmm. Basically disappeared. Know what happened?
Jimmy, hold up, Jimmy. You said,
hey, we're giving John Uri too much credit on the show. Why we listen? Let's not give John Uri too much credit on the show.
Well,
all
you the one said it.
You the one just brought it up.
But hold on, I was just giving y'all a recap what was going on because I was a lone wolf up there. TJ Ford was up there, Daniel Ewing. There was a lot of Houston dudes up in Dallas this weekend. And so, you know, I watched what was going on. I wasn't posturing. You know, I like to stir up the pot a little bit.
Who was in Dallas from Houston?
TJ Ford was there. Okay. John Uri was there.
Okay.
Daniel Ewing was up there.
Okay.
And a couple more cats. You know, a couple more cats up there. It was a good vibe. But, you know, everybody get to talking. And, I got some dirt for Jimmy. I wish I could say it on the air. But, Jimmy, I can't say it on the air. And if I say the kid's name and parents' name, you're going to laugh like no tomorrow.
Give it to me.
I can't do it.
Give it to me.
I'm going to text you offline, man. It was just.
No, don't say the name then. Okay, if you're going to. I can't. Give us the T. Give me something.
No. You know, look at you. You stupid. It's too much. Y'all, let me tell you what's funny, Hatter. I love the summer basketball stuff because it's just, as Hatter says, like, people just. I'm going to tell y'all what happened over there. Can I tell y'all what happened? Tell you what happened. They picked the All-Star game. I'm not going to say who the kid was. Uh-huh. So, you know, the way Pango's camp is set up is that you go to Dallas or you go to Philadelphia, Chicago, because you're trying to make the big camp. Now, slim or no chance of you making a big camp, but it's a great marketing tool, number one. All right. So this particular kid So you know the parents, they get ready to announce the All-Star game. Everybody like myself, I just leave the gym. I leave the gym because I don't want them to think I got nothing to do with picking the players. Because I already know what's gonna happen. So they pick the players. And Dino goes over there, Dino Strigonis goes there with that bad mic. First he let Mitch Malone speak. I'm like, oh Lord, what's about to happen now? Then Mitch went up there and spoke. And I'm like, okay. I'm sorry, Mitch spoke, then Dino spoke. And then he tells a Russell Westbrook story and all that kind of stuff about how he wasn't picked in the All-Star game. Because you know you got to set him up. If you don't make the All-Star game, it's not the end of the world because Russell Westbrook didn't make it. Man, let me tell you something. There was some people from Memphis there. That's why I thought of you. They was from Memphis, Tennessee. Lord have mercy.
That was his kinfolk.
What? Listen, they went up to that. They post the stuff on the end or the other end, so the kids got to run to look at it. And none of the kids, I think one kid from Tennessee, they had all got in the car and drove to the camp. Maybe one kid made it. Those parents lost their mind. They said, we're gonna watch ball. They said one kid had 30 when they know he had 7. We're gonna watch Baller TV. We're gonna take every stat down. And it got serious in there, man. It got serious. These people have lost their mind, man. But it goes to show you. I know we're going to talk about it later. When you talk about pay for play, get people getting free school, man, people take this basketball stuff serious, man. People better understand this basketball stuff is a business. It is a business, period. It is not, people are not playing games, man. That was a little kid that was 5'4". I'm telling you right now, Hatter, he was the next Xavier Willer. Matter of fact, I had to go get a kid some love because he didn't get in the game. And I said, I want you to watch a kid named Xavier Willer. He's about your size, about your age, and he's going to University of Georgia. And his dad said, thank you, man, because his dad was upset, and the kid was upset because he was 5'4", and he was going for him. Clearly one of the most talented kids there. But he's 5'4", he a little midget. They didn't pick him. So I felt bad. I had to go talk to him. You know what I said to him, Hatter? I had to get him those tough words that none of them want to hear. Man, you got to grow, man. I'm sorry. You got to grow.
Oh, man.
You got to grow. Go find Jack and the Beans. Go find Jack and the Beanstalk or something, man. Go find some beans or something. You got to grow, man.
Chris, I got something for you. Dr. Newsom said something. He said Chris Walker was imparting a lot of knowledge to those kids up there.
I appreciate that, Doc.
Could you give us some, if it's something that you've already been talking about on the Chop Shop all the time, or this something special? Because let me tell you something. You up there giving that stuff to the people up there. I don't want I love the Chop Shop. I don't want my Chop Shop people deprived of some of that stuff you got in that big Watermelon head. So please help us. Help us.
You know what? I got this Watermelon head. I got some seeds of knowledge for you. How about that? But check this out. All I told him, I gave him the 3 T's. I mean, I talked about a lot of different things about how many minutes do you think you're touching the ball? Because you got to give them that talk because they're going to all, man, let me tell you something. So when I first got there, so I organized all the drills for all the coaches before I spoke. I heard behind me, I was charging my phone behind me, about 6 kids walked behind me, right, Jimmy and Hatter? And it was a guy back there, and you know what he was telling them? He said, okay, now. It was a brother with a parent or something. It was like 7 midgets, I want to say, right? This is y'all chance. Don't y'all pass that ball. Y'all got to go out. I was behind going like, oh my God. Like he was like saying like, this is y'all chance. If y'all don't go in there and get it done, it's y'all fault. So when I went to speak, I was like, because everybody's going to give that camp speech when they say pass the ball, play defense. When we all know the dude that played the best defense of the camp don't make the All-Star game, right? The dude who leads the camp in assists, Jimmy ain't never picked him to be the top 5 player in the city of Houston. I'm just keeping it 100, keeping it transparent. Mm-hmm. I had a parent sitting next to me. He kept telling his son, hey man, I guess you're just gonna take the ball out the whole game. You're just gonna take the ball out dude. So I'm gonna come back to what I was saying, but then I went to Papados. We were watching football. He came there. He just happened to be sitting next to me at Papados. And I said, man, you want me to give your son some advice, man? I said, tell him to start watching Patrick Peterson or watch some old stuff of Charles Woodson because he need to play cornerback. That's what I told him.
Yeah.
I said, because he can't play basketball. Is he trying to get a scholarship? He need to go play football because he ain't got that dog in him to play basketball. Some kids can't shoot every time. I was one of them dudes. I could shoot every time. They didn't care what nobody think. Everybody don't have that gene in them.
Right.
Cheat sheet.
Right.
In my line. Jimmy struck out every time. Everybody don't have that nerve to keep going to the everybody don't have that nerve to keep going up to the plate and striking out time after time after time.
Jimmy, did you ever get a hit, man?
I don't know if Jimmy ever got a hit.
Jimmy, I ain't talking about the Cashmere. Did you ever get a hit at TSU, man?
Listen, Frank Seals, rest in peace, if he was alive today. I'm telling you, Jimmy, now one thing Jimmy was, he was the cleanest dude on the field. Now, I give him that.
Oh, he had an outfit on.
Oh, he was, and he never got it dirty because he didn't never know how to slide. He never got on base, but he was clean, though. He was clean, Hatter. But anyway, my point was, Hatter, what I told the kids, I gave them the 3 T's. I said time, talent, and trust. I said, don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. You wouldn't be here if you didn't have talent. Right? Don't waste your parents' time. And then when you get in there, show people that you got talent. But the last thing is, don't be afraid of the truth. Don't be afraid of the truth. Everybody's going to have a different truth, man. Don't waste your time. Put the time in. If you don't have talent, I'm telling you right now, you can manufacture some of this stuff. Height is something that's beyond your control. Talent, at the end of the day, is God-given to a degree. And height, you can't control. Some dudes can run faster. Some dudes can jump higher. But learn how to shoot a basketball, that's just putting time in the gym. That's putting time in the gym. Doing 360 dunks, you just blessed with that. You might be able to get some small guy may be able to get his, like we should get on the leaper and stuff and work on your game. And, because those football players, they can dunk everything. But at the end of the day, talent, right? Talent, you can develop some of that. Get you a trainer, do that. But at the end of the day, man, there's a truth to this game. Stop running from the truth. Not only the kids stop running from the truth, but the parents stop running from the truth. And when you hear the truth, don't get mad at everybody when the truth come up. That's the thing. Don't get mad at Jimmy when the truth come up. Don't get mad. Time, talent, and truth all day long. Anyway, keep going though. But Jimmy, I don't know if Jimmy ever got a hit. I don't know if he ever got a hit.
Let me tell you something. One thing I learned as I get on this side of 50 is that when you know a person is just saying something and they're not serious. As you see Craig Stick Lilly, who went to Angelina.
That's my boy.
When I was at Angelina, look at the timeline what Craig Lilly said. You can read that, what he says on the timeline.
Hey, man. Craig and I play AAU together. Craig, you better stop lying.
Craig,
Cleveland High School finest.
Craig,
Cleveland High School finest.
So everybody can see it.
No, hey, man. Now understand.
Can I read something on the Facebook feed real quick? I got to, man. Sonia Howard, Lord have mercy. What planet is she from? Is she new to the Chop Shop? You know what she said? Parents are always realistic about their kids' talent. Sonia, I'm gonna leave that one alone.
She said unrealistic.
She said realistic.
I think she meant unrealistic.
No. Go back. She corrected it after that. She said parents.
Good. Okay. Thank God. I was got to get on her real quick.
Yeah, that mess with her now.
Because we got a saying that says the most unrealistic person about a child's potential is not the child.
Well, understand this, Chris. And going back to the camp, we got a lot of time just tuned to the Chop Shop. We're talking about youth basketball. Chris was in Dallas at the Pangos camp, directed by Dinos Trigonis, and which is an annual fixture in this part of the country. It's only for 9th and 10th graders, guys. So this camp, if you wonder why a lot of the upperclassmen weren't there, this camp is annually for 9th and 10th graders. And they come and convene and kind of like show and tell for Dinos and the rest of his constituents for possibly a bid on invite to his Pangos camp, which actually takes place in June of every year. Well, and a lot of the things that Chris was just tuning in, he was telling you some of the things that were going on in the gym and how people are when it comes down to being selected for the all-star games at elite camps. And, the questions often arise, are the all-star games rigged? I'm asking you, are the all-star games, not particularly this one, but all in the whole, in a nutshell, when you go to camps, are there certain kids, no matter what they do at the camp, they're going to be in the top 30 main all-star game?
Let me tell you something. I heard a story because you hear all you had John Stovall there from Nike, Dane Irvin was there, Frank Burleson, all McVan Coleman, all McDonald voters at the camp. So it was some heavyweight dudes there. Ron Flores. I mean, it was some guys that do the voting. And somebody was telling stories, and I'm not gonna say who said them because I can't put guys on blast because they was chopping Hatter up, and I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm not gonna talk about the guys. I defended you, Hatter, but I can't put them out there because they say Hatter would go at their Hatter would go at their head. Hatter would go at their head on the chop shop.
No. I'm just like Bryce Green. I'm not even there, and they talking about me. Because y'all weren't talking about no bombs up there, I think. So y'all let them keep talking. I know. Gotta keep on talking. Carry on.
No.
Carry on.
It's all love. You know it's all love, Hatter. But anyway, the bottom line is this, man. They said some coaches, Jimmy, if they send their players to a camp, they won't even put them on the plane unless you guarantee they make an all-star game.
Wait a minute, really?
They won't even put, you know what I said, Hatter? They won't even put them on the plane. By the way, and you're playing for the plane ticket, by the way. They're not. They're not going to let him come unless he's going to be in the All-Star game. That's what parents don't even understand what they're even facing. Think about a parent. I'm paying money. You had a couple of parents that were upset. Guys are switching teams. Guys are doing this. I said, lady, you talking to the wrong person. I don't run the camp. Go talk to them. because they're out there, and I feel bad for them because I can tell in 2 seconds, paid camper, paying the light bill, paying for that dude's flight. You can tell the one got no business in there. You see them right away, Chi. You know where I'm coming from, and then they actually think it's fair play. They actually think they got a chance. You know, and I feel bad, and maybe they should get better.
So if you pay your way, that means you can't play?
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is
you said paid camper, like
there's a paid camper. Some kids did not belong there, but that happens at every camp. So I'm not. I feel bad. You had 250 kids there. It's probably going to be 50 to 60 that do not belong there. They're paid campers. Wow. And so it's just that's how it goes. I'm sorry. But again, think about it. 9th and 10th grade, some kids still haven't even found. Some kids probably couldn't be there that weekend. You had Jimmy had his event going on. They had other events going on in the city. So it wasn't like there were much. That wasn't the best version of the Pangos that they've had because they've had some Pangos camps that were off the chain. And so it's just so much going on now, which is interesting.
So you admitting that wasn't just what you've seen better.
Yeah, that camp for sure. Definitely seen better. But the top guys were really, really good. It's just that, when you start getting the, number 150 and going down to 250, the talent just wasn't that great. But again, they're stars of the future. But yes, if Jimmy, I'll say it again. If I'm gonna be honest with you, if Chris Walker was a summer coach, and my dude is one of the top dudes in the country, I got a dude that's top 100. I'm not putting him on a plane unless he's going to get preferential treatment because him coming to that camp boost. Because if you calling me to bring my guy, it's boosting that camp's profile up, right, Jimmy?
Right.
So if he's coming, why would I send him there if he don't make the All-Star game? It's going to reflect negatively upon him. So I'm not going to send him.
So you're saying that it's true. What? You're saying it's true. So
it's definitely true.
It's true.
Wow. And I'm saying wow. I mean,
Jimmy,
I'm not.
Wow. You part of this.
Jimmy do the same. Jimmy might as well call his name.
No, I don't. First of all, I don't do All-Star games. I don't do All-Star games. First of all, and that's the reason why. See, one thing I do is I ain't that easy to put into the corner and corner up. I'm like one of them. I'm a good Jerry. You can be Tom all day long. I'm down with Jerry. Jerry always gets away. You're not going to corner me in the cartoon. So I've never done the All-Star game. I've never been a fan of the All-Star game because guess what it does? It's the same reflection of it's just like doing the rankings. You're doing a media ranking. You just told his parent and solicited your camp to them and say, hey, come on here and make people believe they have a fair shot.
Whoa, hold up, Jimmy. They don't have a fair shot.
But then, hold on. I guarantee that's not told to them when they pay before they pay their money.
Think about this. So there was a top 30 game, and I don't want to kill Dinos because I mean they do a good job.
No. I'm not trying to.
Game. There's a top 30 game, so it's 250 kids. So you tell me there's a top 30 game, there's a top 20 game, and there's another top 20 game.
No,
so 70 kids out of the 250 make it to the All-Star.
No, I thought it was a top 30 and a top 60. They only have 2 All-Star games.
They had 3 All-Star games at this one.
Oh, they okay.
So they had a top 30, they had a top 20, and another top 20. That's what they had.
Getting it in,
man. And Five over here trying to chop me up. Five be killing me. Talking about how about he earn it, Chris? I'm like, listen, man. Y'all know, like I know, they do it in the NBA, they do it in the NFL as well. You're like, man, how did D-Wade make the All-Star game this week? All-Star team this year, man. The fans vote him in. The fans vote in dudes that don't belong in there all the time, right or wrong, Adam? Right? On popularity. They may be struggling to still get in.
Yeah.
That's America, man. So you're not gonna have a 7-footer just because he chose to eat McDonald's before every game and he really didn't feel like being there, but he had to go there so he can get to California. You're not gonna not put him in the game. It ain't good. First of all, it ain't good business. How about that?
Could you help me? Could you help me again? So you said it was a top 30, then a top what?
A 20, and it was another 20.
So
I forget the names. You know what? I left the sheet in my rental car, but I know Stacy on the feed. Stacy or somebody they can tell you what it was. It was 3 games though.
But all I'm saying is that's a lot of All-Stars.
Well, how many kids, Christian? You say it was 200 and what?
I want to say 250.
So guess what? The numbers have increased, so that means now you give another All-Star game, it's still the same percentage as it used to be back in the days. Okay. So basically, if you had a top 30, the other game was a top 6, and the other game probably a top 90.
Exactly. You know my remedy was and Dane was killing me on it. Dane or running his mouth, but whatever. I said, listen, man, if it's that important to a parent to get to California or to get, listen. It's respectable. If you got Van Coleman, McDonald's voter, Frank McDonald's voter, you had Chad Grove from Arizona, you had Ron Flores, you had Dane, you had some people there, so they were playing in front of some people, right? That's legitimate. I say, why don't you just jack the price up higher, invite less dudes, and just have an All-Star game, let everybody get in it. But guess what? If you did that, Hatter, they'd be mad about that too. Well, I didn't make the real All-Star game. What? So the best scene is when they all walk away. I remember, I'm not gonna say the parent's name. I used to take my kids to Pangos camp in California, right? I should try to get every last one of them in. And before I got there, this parent said, he better make the top whatever game. I said, listen. I pull strings to get you in the camp. You know what I mean? To make that game, that means I got to walk in the back room, right? And flex my one little muscle that I got. You see what I'm saying? On everybody's head. So you got to go politic to every dude that doing the voting. That's how it happened. You go politic to this dude. Then you go to Papa Do's that dude and buy him a couple drinks. Then you go, Jimmy know where I'm coming from. You sit with every dude. And then guess what it always comes down to, and guess the part they don't want to hear. Man, you got to play good, man. So what you want me to do is go talk to every single person, politic, get on my knees, and then you go out there and play like a bum, and you still want to make the game? And you know what that answer is? Yes, they still want to make the game.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, because understand, and the reply going to the Boomer Room and address some of the thoughts that a lot of guys are talking right now, and of course, Don Vasher says all the top 20 kids on 2 teams sprinkle a few others so that it doesn't look too bad. Other teams still playing. They're sitting around watching halfway through the camp. And then Stacy says, Jimmy, why you say wow? You know it's true. And I think my wow, it didn't mean that I don't know it goes on, because I just described it and said that's the reason why I don't do
right.
All-Star games, because I know it goes on. I was basically saying wow, as for the reason that Chris Walker had described a situation where a parent or a person of influence basically made the barter that if his kid attended the camp, then he was going to be automatically an all-star. And and I'm like, wow, because
Yeah, absolutely.
normally the event operator, if your kid is that good, and if that practice, if that rule is bent for him or her, then that's understood. So why you even got to ask it and bring it up? If you already know how it works and how it goes, you don't even have to tell me.
But you got to realize, I'm a Stacey said you got a top 30, a next 20, and a final 20. That was the All-Star games that they had. It was 3 games.
That's 70 dudes. 70 dudes.
70 dudes. Now to that point, now you got to get 70 dudes because you're gonna have 180 people mad. So you need 70 happy. But of that 70, you still probably got another 40 that didn't make the top 30 that's mad. I'm just telling you, you're not gonna get around it because all those parents, they sitting there counting points. They listen, man. It's amazing when you out of the game, like the summer game. I never seen so many people videoing. I actually saw a parent. I wish I could say their name, man, because when they kid had the ball, they put the camera on them. They watched. I'm gonna do like this. They do the camera this way, right? And I was like going to talk to him. I said, I can't talk to him during the game. The kid's on the court because they sub. The minute they kid went down to play defense, guess what that parent did? Put the phone down. I was like, you got to be kidding me. They only showed the offensive end.
They didn't want to see that part.
I couldn't believe it. I just sat up there and gave a speech before. It says, listen, a college coach, a parent, I'm going to give you some knowledge real quick. There's 32 minutes in the high school game. I asked 2 kids, how many minutes you think you touched the ball? One of them said 28 minutes. I said, so you touched the ball 28 minutes in the 32 game. I asked another kid, they said 23 minutes. I say, son, the best player may touch it 2 minutes. I said, how long does it take you to shoot a ball? So how many shots you gonna get in the game? 100? I said, you're not gonna be dribbling. Are you the point guard? The other team gotta have the ball too. And I said, the problem is that parents watch the game for those 2 minutes and the college coaches watch the game for those 30 minutes. That's a disconnect. So I watched this parent after I talked to him. He went on the offensive end. She had the phone up. He went on the defensive end. She put the phone down. I couldn't believe it. Y'all go it over. I can talk all day about that. But I'm telling you,
but Chris,
it's hilarious to me. It's hilarious to me.
Okay, understand this. I got a good question because I was evaluating some things this past weekend at the Super 16 Extravaganza, which was held in Houston. That's the Fall High School Championships, which was won by Beaumont United. Shout out to Beaumont United.
Yes, sir.
Every day of the week, I'm down with Beaumont. That's for sure right now. As you guys can see, if you pay attention, you see the action. The chop shop is down with Beaumont. Ain't no doubt about it. Them guys, they came in that gym. How do you saw them? The games they won the good old-fashioned way. They wasn't flaunting it. They wasn't taunting it. They just took care of business and won. Now, what I want to ask is, while you were in Dallas, with all the talent in the gym, about what was the estimate of the amount of cameras, the mixtape media guys that were on the sideline, like on the baseline, not the people in the stands that were relatives. About how many?
There was cameras everywhere. There was I guess there's a new streaming service called Hoops Fix or Hoops something.
I don't know.
And then Baller TV was obviously there, but they had a bunch of little dudes running around every angle. They had guys around there just, filming guys. Obviously, when the Keontae George kid played, they all had the cameras there because he gave them a whole lot to look at. I'm gonna discuss that with Hatter when the show is over. But he gave him a whole lot to look at. He reminds me of I think a better Keith Frazier, a better more athletic Keith Frazier.
Yes,
that's what I think.
That's exactly what I said about it.
So that means he's a McDonald's All-American then. That's what that means then, because Keith was McDonald's. Yeah. That means somebody told me, and I don't know this. I want to see Hatter's face, Jimmy, when I say this. Watch this face. I said, yeah, this kid, such and such kid is better than Keontae George. I'm not going to say who said it. I said, okay. He says, but neither one of them will ever see a day in college. Look at Hatter's face. That's what.
Say what?
They say they would never see a day in college. I just want to see Hatter's face.
Well, first of all,
excuse me.
I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying, Hatters. I was sitting next to somebody and said, oh, who's that kid right there? I said, that kid's good. But that kid right there, I said, well, this Keontae George, he did one move that was absolutely crazy, dunked on by 3 dudes in traffic. And I was like, well, dang, who is that kid? Because I didn't know before the game started. And they said, well, that kid will never see a day of college. I'm like, wow. Oh, my goodness.
You got a chance. Now, what you said? What you about to say, Jimmy?
Now I was saying Stacey says estimated about 10 plus camera guys, and because I noticed that I've been noticing that a lot of the camera guys are down from what they were a year or 2 years ago.
Man,
I'm just telling you now. I'm track. In other words,
why? You know why? They charging those dudes to come in now, Jimmy.
Really?
Yeah. I heard. Listen, man. I heard some stuff this weekend. Like that's why I don't like, because I like to talk and I listen and I stir stuff up and I can't say who told me. That's why I get mad, because it's supposed to be the chop shop. We're supposed to be able to chop things up, right?
No, but
somebody told me that LeBron's high school, wherever they traveling, those dudes getting $30,000 to $40,000 a game, a tournament, something like that. Now think about what I'm about to tell y'all right now. Mount Verde, I'm sure that people are paying these schools to come places. But think about what I'm about to tell y'all. They say that AAU is bad, right? That these coaches are on the take. When I hear high schools are doing it, what is that really saying? Think about what I'm telling you right now. They're saying AAU guys are on the take, Jimmy. That's what they're saying, the bad guys, the third-party guys, those bad actors, as the representative from Ohio said. And I'm hearing that high school teams with elite guys are getting paid 10, 15, 30,000, charging camera guys 10,000 to come in and film. And they're talking about the AAU guys. I say, well, how is that legal? Like, I didn't know that was legal for high schools. Is that legal for high schools to take money?
Well, I'd
like to know that.
Well, what they do is the school district, if the athletic director is in charge, is the point guard on the negotiations, and they can do it and have the stuff donated to the district. Normally, what's happening in this situation with the team from California is that there's a third party company that's involved with a lot of their scheduling. And this third party, because a lot of their games are going to be televised or streamed anyway. So this company may, for example, write them a deal and say, for safe math, if there's 10 games, we're going to give you $100,000, and we guarantee your program
to the high school.
To the high school.
So we now put that. So now high school, instead of when I was a kid, we just went and played, right, Heather? We just went to the tournament wherever we went. So now you're telling me, so why can't AAU teams get paid to do that? And why, if an AAU team did that, Jimmy, that would be all over the front page news.
Hold on, but they already have. No.
I mean, if it's in plain sight, right now it's undercover. If it was in plain sight that AAU coaches were saying, look, if you want my team to come there, you got to give us $20,000. People would lose their mind.
When LeVar Ball was the most recent of the this new wave of the summer teams, Adidas they put it on the books what they took care of for him. So it wasn't a secret. Now don't get it twisted. Everything that Adidas may have did for LeVar Ball and his summer program may not have been on the books. But as far as paying for the hotel rooms or whatever, now the thing was the NCAA stipulated that you weren't supposed to buy rooms for one team that you did not buy them for all teams. That's the gray in the muddy area, which got some guys in trouble and probably have lost their jobs or been reassigned. But I want you to understand, as I just said, if the third party come along and says, Chris, if you said it tomorrow and went to Fort Bend ISD and went to the AD and say, I'll give you $100,000 to help schedule the season. First, you got to go to the head coach and get his blessings first. But then if you do so,
he gonna ask for his cut, but keep going.
well, no, not go. Well, that maybe so, but at the same time, what you do is that guy, if he paying 100,000 for 10 to schedule 10 games, he's gonna go and try to charge 20 or 15, and he gonna keep the gap. That's no.
Man,
That's
hold on, man. All I'm saying is, Hatter, real talk. Because Hatter, you wrote some checks for some AAU stuff. Imagine if somebody telling you they gonna pay you, they gonna give you $30,000 to go play in a tournament.
I'm going like a turkey through the comb.
I mean, and it's amazing to me the hypocrisy of this stuff. Like, it's okay for them to do it at the high school level. Well, a whole lot of people involved that are supposed to be upstanding people that are educators. But when the summer guys do it, they're third-party guys or street guys. Jimmy, I see Jimmy quiet over there. Because you know why, Hatter? Because Jimmy wrote the game. Jimmy took a couple checks back in the day. Everybody know when Jimmy had Carolina, they was the greatest show on earth. And Jimmy and his what? Are you kidding me? Don't let Jimmy fool you. Don't let Jimmy fool you.
I know you wasn't finna refute that.
He said checks. He said checks.
Yeah,
oh,
what you
bad.
thought he said?
They didn't say they didn't have Venmo back then.
Oh
Jimmy.
yeah, he didn't
so
get
I
no check.
already know.
He didn't get no check. You took
he got a check.
bags.
Oh, my bad. The bag man. My bad.
But
my
you know
bad.
what? You know what? I did take checks as well. You damn right. I took checks as well, and that's why. See, and now you get me started. That's why I try to explain. There's so many of these new boots out here that they saw it from afar. They might have been engaged, entwined in it, but they weren't able to capitalize on it. And that's the thing I laugh at. A lot of guys been doing this stuff for decades and didn't totally capitalize on it. That's what I'm saying. And you may have some that did capitalize on it. They did a piss poor job of planting the proper seeds for a long-lasting relationship with someone who met along the way. And as I mentioned Sean Henry. I mentioned him before. Sean Henry was the world. But it don't matter what you did, what happened to the game. If you had met and fertilized the right relationship, the situation was bad. Before.
Hey, Jimmy.
Guess what? You
Jimmy,
still
right
would have
now,
been in.
Jimmy, your speed is kind of messing up a little bit. So I just took over for a second. But I understand what you're saying. But I think, let me see if you're better. Now try it again. Try it again.
Oh, hold on.
No, you good. Your sound. No, your sound. You don't have to come out of the picture. Your sound. I got you covered. I can control it over here. I was just letting you know everything you said people didn't hear. So I want them to hear it, and that's why I want to put you back in. And now.
Well, what I was saying is, and it's not. This is definitely not to be taken as a slug. It's taken to be more so. I'm saying this, what I'm about to say, as though if we were in a court of law and I'm citing a case, using this case as to present my point, meaning that there are too many people, especially African American people, who dominate the culture of the summer youth basketball scene, that don't take advantage of the relationships that are right in front of them. Meaning that most people are going to call you when it's time, when they want something. And that's not forming a fruitful relationship. Meaning, for example, Chris, I want you to be totally honest.
Whoa, it depends on what you ask me now.
No, I'm gonna ask you something that's good. This is above the weights.
All right.
Have you ever had coached in summer basketball one of those kids that had a parent that was pretty well off?
Yes.
Approximately how many of those kids that you coached during your summer ball time? But what, 3, 4, 5, 2?
Yeah, not many. Yeah, not many at all.
Maybe
two. Maybe two.
Okay, so maybe 2. When is the last time that you've spoken with the parent of that kid?
Never.
You see, that's my case in point. And it's not used as slight or slug. This is a college coach. He's a career college coach. Chris Walker is over 2 decades at the Division I level. And understand, and he was, Villanova grad.
What's your point though?
My point is that people don't take advantage of relationships.
Whoa. It depends.
In youth basketball, right. It don't.
Well,
and then we look at, for example, we look at a guy like Martin Fox, who come in and Steve Trouble fall out the sky, and they still talk every day, and he helps him to the team. If Steve Trouble was debated, that relationship.
But Jimmy, that's a little different situation though.
It's a relationship though, Chris.
His son couldn't play worth dirt. Like I never coached kids like that though.
What do you mean?
I never had a money kid. You see what I'm saying? That's a money kid.
That's a private plane type kid.
Exactly. That's a whole different relationship. Just like those Texas types. Let me tell you something. I saw a team. How about I want you to comment. I saw a team, and I'm not going to chop my boys up over in San Antonio. This is not a slight towards them. When I was at Cal, I was recruiting Tremont. I thought I was going to get Tremont to come to Cal. Right? Thank God he had Houston. Great decision. Love the family. But I had Tremont. He's in 8th grade, period. They had this dude playing on the team with Texas Hard Work, playing behind a kid. I'll never forget this. Tremont had dropped to the top 200, Jimmy. You remember how far he dropped? The fact that Tremont got to the top 60 is amazing to me that he played his way back up there, because he had dropped so low because he was playing behind a money kid. Now, I've never had a kid like that and would never have one of those on my team. Now that relationship I probably would still have if I had a dude like that. But I never wanted to be beholden to one of those guys and put their kids out there to hurt some other kid that was actually a good player. I wouldn't do that. I don't besmirch guys that did do it, but I would not do that. If you know where I'm coming from, Jim.
Okay.
So understand something. If the money was flowing properly, you would play a midget with one leg, Chris.
First of all, I funded my own team. It came out of my pocket.
I say still though. So that means if somebody said keep your money in your pocket, I got it. Know what you do?
But you understand, people came at me like that, Jimmy. You know what my program was, and I said no. I'm not going to do that, because my program, I'm a former college coach. My program is built on me having the best dudes. You let them other dudes have the money dudes. Let's see how long that lasts. I'm not down with that. I'm not going to compromise.
Okay, but still, my point is the people, not how good the kid was. My point was the relationships that are presented to you, to a lot of people in youth basketball, a lot of the summer coaches. 5 years, 6 years, 10 years down the road, that kid who had the parents that were fluent and well off, there's no more communications with that coach and that family no more. And we understand.
Why they talking to him? Talk to him for what? I mean, what they gonna talk to him for? Your time up. The hourglass and turned over. You don't get to turn it back over again. You got a shelf life.
Jimmy.
Man, listen, man. I remember. I know so many bad stories.
I sponsored a team for 2 years and ain't asked a parent for nothing. I don't talk to them parents. Parents don't call me no more. They don't call me no more.
Okay, that's the backwards end of what I just explained. That's the adverse of it. The adverse of it, they're not supposed to call. Understand? They had the opportunity though, Hatter, to befriend and form a relationship. They had the opportunity.
Only kid that still contact me to this day mostly is John Henson and DJ Griggs and D'Angelo Harrison. The rest of them kids don't. The rest of those kids don't. Rashid Suleiman. The rest of them kids don't.
I had all the good ones. All the good ones.
I can't stand you, man. Because Jimmy trying to be serious, and I'm trying to give you.
Huh? Yeah, I don't.
Because Jimmy only talked to Tack Minor. I don't know why Jimmy talking that mess. Because Tack, the only one he talked to. I have never heard Jimmy talk about another player that's ever played.
No, that's not.
Jimmy, are you trying to say, why don't we forge relationships?
That's what I've been saying. We don't. That's what I just said. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Y'all missing what I'm saying.
No, it ain't got. We just added something.
It's about it, and y'all keep mentioning the kids. I'm talking about the parents of the kids who had money.
So
that
what you're
that's
saying?
no,
So you should seek out and if I think
those are
relationships
relationships.
relationships just don't just happen like that, Jimmy.
Yeah, no, but
Sometimes
you
you
got
got
to
to
but
foster it.
you got to
So,
cultivate. You got
Chris,
Jimmy,
to
what are you
cultivate.
saying? What are you saying?
I got a question though. I got a question for y'all, Jimmy.
It's a good
I think
conversation, though. It's a good
a great
conversation.
conversations, but I think your comparison ain't been too many daddies like Trauber
Oh man,
with those
I
kind of
haven't been.
resources. Ain't
I
been
know that's right.
you talking about daddies who got a job and work and might be executive. It ain't been too many Traubers now. I'm just from what I've seen. It ain't been too many Traubers. So it ain't been too many Kenny Trout. What's the guy named Stacy in Dallas? Kenny
What about
Trout.
Dr. Lou? Dr. Lou came before Trauber. And
Who is
Dr.
that?
Lou, Dr.
Who is
Lou
Dr.
is
Lou?
worth more than Steve Trauber. Dr.
Who is
Lou,
Dr. Lou?
his son played for St. Thomas, and he owns a nice chunk of real estate in East Downtown, and a lot of stuff over that they're developing right now. He owns it. The new thing that they're building right now with the Gucci store in East Downtown, he owns that.
Jimmy, who did his kid play for? Who did his kid play for?
Who did Dr. Lou? I want to say maybe the Defenders.
What if Dr. Lou don't want to be in no relationship with one of you
No, but
you black people?
That's see, that's what I'm saying. Hell, that's the backwards part. I'm not saying that the guy with the money ain't supposed to build a relationship with you after he gone. He got his kid, he gone. You see that bus coming along, you better hop on that bus and find his birth date out and say happy birthday. Find out when the son's birthday, happy birthday, Merry Christmas, whatever they believe in.
I don't agree with that, but I hear you.
Listen, man.
Understand something. Understand something. It's different layers of networking. And that's no difference in going to a party or going to a mixer and you getting somebody's business card. And at some point in time, I guarantee you, from what my experience in watching these guys, they came to me with the same thing along different ones. You know what they say? They all sang the same song in a different beat. While their sons are in high school, they would tell me, in some form or fashion, if you ever need anything, give me a call. That's why their sons are playing. You know why? Because it's an understood lure of them saying, without even opening their mouth, take care of my son, I take care of you.
Yeah, but
No, Chris, you understand that.
That was never my thing, man. I
understand it. I understand it. It might not have been your thing, but I'm telling you, this is a way. So that means that's on me. It's on me. If I never call that guy or if I call him, that's on me.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
why is it bad? Why is it a bad thing if somebody doesn't
do it? It's not bad if you don't. If you don't want to kowtow to some guy because he's rich, everybody don't go. Everybody don't do that, Jimmy. Some people are opportunists like that or like that, but everybody, just because a person is rich, don't mean I am going to go and just, if I want to have a conversation with him, I will. But no, come on, no.
Okay.
It's not
so
happening.
now you take that and change and modify it over then and take the word rich and replace it with if that person can help you. See, now it changes.
Yeah, but
if that person can help
me.
So you know what happens? So for example, Gilbert Good, his family before his sister passed away 2 or 3 years ago, they owned the bail bonding company. They owned the bail bonding company, right? And we all knew every year there's going to be some kid somewhere that plays youth sports that's going to be mischievous a little bit, and he's going to probably have to go in and get in handcuffs and need a bond. That's a bail bondsman. So that means if you didn't know, he made it clear because he took several ads out in the magazine. But if you didn't know that it was Gilbert Good's company, you sort of then that way now when you see him walk in the gym, you walk right by him. But then if your son goes and get arrested, then now you're gonna call him and looking for a bond. I'm saying there are people in the basketball community who can help each other. They are resourceful to each other. I'm not talking about millionaires no more. I gave you that example a while ago. I'm talking about there's real estate agents, there's doctors, There's lawyers.
But you don't think we all use those angles? I think we do.
Not after the kid is gone. I'm saying to produce a fruitful relationship with people that can help you from the basket that you might have met.
You're gonna have a hard time building a team. You ain't had a team in a long time. You're gonna have a hard time building a team if that's how you're trying to build a team.
I'm not saying building a team, Chris. You're missing me, Chris. I'm not talking building a team. I'm talking about in the gym with them, Chris. Not building a team.
I've done all that, man. I've done.
Okay, so I'm saying I'm not saying doing it. See, what the key is.
I've done all that.
Not while your kid is playing. After your kid is gone, is the relationship still bearing fruit? That's what I'm saying. Everybody gonna do everything you want to do when their kid is dead.
But Jimmy, you got to separate it, because people on the Facebook saying y'all got to listen to what Jimmy's saying. You ask me, people that played for me. If you just talking about dudes in the city that I've done stuff for and we bartered on relationship, I've done 1,000 things like that. You kidding me? I've done 1,000 of those things, but playing for me,
okay,
that's a privilege. I'm not giving that privilege to everybody.
So let's wrap this up, y'all. Let's wrap this up. What are you trying to get across, Jimmy? What seemed like you trying to do? Foster better relationships in this community. That's what you're trying to do.
Yeah,
stemming from yes,
people
within the youth
on
sports
your team in youth sports, but okay, in youth sports, because that's what you deal in. And I would say foster better relationships in all parts of life, because I'm not in youth. I'm just a part, but it's some people that I've helped but it ain't got nothing to do with youth sports. So it's always good to foster relationships, period, to me. So we can go, we go all on, but over and over with that.
My major point to close it out is, and a lot of people inside the loop know and understand that I have a pretty good relationship, uncle-nephew relationship with George Raveling. That relationship started back during the Indy EB Minor Daniel Gibson days. That's when I met him. Well, after those kids were gone, it wasn't like George Raveling was picking up the phone, calling. Once those kids and once Daniel Gibson fizzled out, after they went to the NBA championship with the Cavaliers, and Daniel wasn't hot no more, and Tack get expelled from LSU. Guess what? My fire done flickered out. But if I don't pick up the phone and call George Raveling, I don't wait to not waiting just to Martin Luther King Day when everybody in the world is talking about him because he's in possession of the "I Have a Dream" speech, but calling him on other days, checking on him and see if he's all right every other morning. Those are relationships, and so then people wonder, well, damn man, damn dude, you don't realize that's a relationship.
Yeah, but we misunderstood you because you started off by saying people playing for me. That's why I was going from that standpoint. As far as like the neighborhood and getting people to do stuff, you already know I got a slew of them dudes. But as far as playing for me and you being a money dude, you're not coming in telling me what to do with my program and who to play. You're not. I don't need your money for that. I'll use you for other stuff. But now
what's the next topic, man?
And so Lionel Gard on the Boomer Room, Lionel Gard said, Hicks, you had Robert Ory, Cox Prater Law Firm, the car dealership. I mean, what else you want? Well, Lionel Gard, if you paying attention, the Robert Ory Sports Medicine, they still support. That relationship is still going strong. They were in the building, provided the trainers this past weekend at the Super 16. Troy Prater with the Cox Prater Law Firm, his birthday is tomorrow. See, one day I know birthdays. That's my teammate from TSU baseball. We will be together on Saturday in the park, in the RV at the homecoming. That's a relationship. That's what I'm saying. So guess what? If my ass get arrested in handcuffs tomorrow, guess who I'm going to call first when I get that call for an attorney? I'm calling Troy Prater. And know what he's going to do? He's going to pick up the phone.
I think he was being sarcastic. I think he was just being sarcastic.
Yeah, I think he was being sarcastic.
You gave that too much energy. I started to erase it. But let's keep on going. What's the next topic? That's too much energy to him.
Okay. Let's go.
Bye, boy.
We got breaking news, guys. And Speaking of youth basketball, how about the mayor of Atlantic City has resigned, been forced to resign after pleading guilty, after getting indicted for stealing $87,000 from a youth basketball team he founded up in New Jersey. Right? This lawyer's name is Frank Gilliam Jr., Gillam, right? He told the judge, and he's already admitted, this is a federal case. He would go to trial in January. Told the judge that he stole funds from donors, right, in Atlantic City and Philadelphia for the Atlantic City Stars. That's the name of the youth basketball program.
Never heard of them.
Atlantic City Stars. That was between the years of 2013 and 2018. He was elected mayor in 2017. This is in Atlantic City, right? And he's facing up to 20 years in prison. He's 49 years old. The trial set for January the 7th. My point is, this is just another black eye on youth sports. And so my thing is, parents, I've seen situations where the money is raised and then it's come time to go look in the coffers and that money has evaporated.
LeVar Ball.
Boy, you going to hell. I mean,
Listen, man. Everybody, listen, man. I hate, obviously, this is basketball. We talk about basketball, youth basketball. People do stuff like this every day, man. But you think about it, with the NCAA stuff going on, it's a story. You got bankers and lawyers and pharmaceutical people doing wild stuff every day. I realize we're talking about youth basketball, and the dude is mayor. But, man, that stuff is out. The question I was going to ask was that 1 year. I'm like, man, what kind of program they got? But it was over time. But even still, at the end of the day, I'd like to know how many Division I players came out of that program. I never even heard of that program. Atlanta. I've never even heard of it. I didn't know they played basketball in Atlantic City. But at the end of the day, like, how many kids came out of that program that were actually any good? Or did they? And what happened? And why this? Like if the story says why they end up catching him, or was there some disgruntled parent that the kid didn't make an All-Star game and they blew the whistle? They didn't go to a tournament or something. Something went down. That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's that. I mean, it's sad, man. I mean, this is the mayor. That's what I'm saying. Even if he wasn't the mayor, to be sad. This makes it 10 times as sad being the mayor of Atlantic City. We're not talking about Timbuktu. Atlantic City is I mean, you know,
the biggest crooks in the world in Atlantic City.
Yeah, I mean, several mayors.
In the world.
Yes, but when you're talking about kids,
Nucky Thompson. That's what Nucky Thompson started it up there. That's the biggest crooks in the world in Atlantic City.
Well, I mean, the previous mayor,
45 was. 45 had a hotel in Atlantic City.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I understand that. I mean, they had one of the previous mayors that he falsified his military records and received like $25,000 a year in benefits every year. That was back the former mayor or one of the former mayors back in about 10, 15 years ago. So I understand Atlanta, but these kids, when you take advantage of that takes the crime to a different depth of just sadness. So now, what we have now is we get to the point, and definitely this is really, really serious, and that is the latest on China and the NBA relations. Right now, it all started from a tweet from the Rockets general manager, Daryl Morey. And the tweet, basically, Morey was in defense of the people in Hong Kong and their, in the protesters in support of pro-democracy in Hong Kong. Well, that was preceded by another tweet from the owner of the Rockets, Tillman Fertitta, for which he says, listen, D. Morey does not, capital N-O-T, speak for the Houston Rockets. Our presence in Tokyo is all about the promotion of the NBA internationally, and we are not, capital NOT, a political organization. And that was preceded by the China deciding to halt certain relations and games and things that were going on. For example, the New Jersey Nets had a court dedication ceremony that was coming up, and China has canceled that ceremony. Also, which that was responded by, and then a couple other companies have announced that they are discontinuing their business relations with the NBA as a result of this. One of the largest cell phone providers, or
Vivo.
What's the name of it? Vivo. They've announced that they are discontinuing their relationship, and they sponsor the game that brings the Nets and whoever their opponent was to China every year.
So Jimmy, what is Jack Ma gonna do? Because he owns the Brooklyn Nets now. The guy from China who owns Alibaba.
No. He's from Taiwan. He's from Taiwan.
But he lives in China.
Yeah, but he
lives in China because I was on the Alibaba campus it's not in Shanghai, it's in Shenzhen. Mm-hmm. He owns the Brooklyn Nets.
Yes.
So what are they gonna do?
Well, now the next move is Adam Silver made a statement within the past 24 hours. And Adam Silver, in his statement, I don't know if he wants to cue it up or play it on the speaker or whatnot. But Adam Silver had, yeah, let us see that.
Let's see.
I want to be clear that, and I think there's been some confusion around this. We are not apologizing for Daryl exercising his freedom of expression. I regret, again, having communicated directly with many friends in China that so many people are upset.
I don't hear it, Hatter.
We don't hear it, Hatter.
Millions and millions of our fans. I mean, at the end of the day, we come.
Okay, it's back. I'm back.
Here we go.
Let me try it again.
Until that comes on, Jimmy, while Hatter's working on that.
I want to be clear that, and I think there's some
I would like to know what the Boom Boom Room thinks, and Hatter and I kind of discussed. What do you think about James Harden
for
commenting, saying that
exercising his freedom of expression?
We love China.
I regret,
that
having
is trying to make amends
with many friends in China.
What Daryl Morey said.
So many people
think that
are upset,
because
including
Hatter made a comment that
millions
when James
and millions
said
of our
that
fans.
We love China. Russ was next to him. Russ looked at him like, "Ooh." Like maybe he shouldn't have said that. I don't know, because think about it, man. Nike's in China. I'm assuming Hatter, you would know Nike's still making all that. I know Under Armour still makes their stuff in China. There's a lot of relationships over there that people don't want to mess with. And obviously China, with all those people, the NBA is very popular in China. We had Yao Ming in Houston. Houston was the number one team. That's why I can't believe Daryl Morey would say that, because Yao Ming is a god there, Hatter.
Well, I have been preaching and requesting that all of these people in social media, these people in our sphere of influence on our show, because I've been seeing some reckless tweets by some grown men of going back and forth on Twitter and not realizing how 5 years down the road that stuff can affect you. So this general manager who general manager is not a regular position on a basketball team. He is a position of management and power. And he got on his Twitter. If you go follow Daryl Morey on his Twitter, he's reckless. He's reckless like a few of these guys right here in Houston, Texas, and be reckless on their Twitter. But he has more to lose. They've lost. Let me tell y'all something. The NBA has invested billions. They got billions over there. And a tweet can jeopardize all of that, because it's so easy. And so Adam Silver have to walk the fine line of being morally, because the NBA they morally support their players and their staff when they speak out on issues. But dude, they got billions of dollars over there. He shouldn't have just said, leave that alone, boss. Use somebody else's, because you're in a position of power. Now guess what's going to happen because of his reckless tweets? And I hope people on this Facebook feed see this, and all of these people with these crazy Twitter fingers. This guy going to cost jobs. It's people's jobs going to be lost because of this. You know, it's an awesome responsibility when you sit in yourself home and just get tweet. Think before you press send.
Hatter. They don't understand. Until Hatter's been to China, I've been to China.
Yes.
I don't know if Jimmy, if you've been there. It's a different place. It is a communist country. Like you can't listen, man. We went over there last year. They had to have the FBI and everybody come in and say, do not play with this. You see what happened to those kids at UCLA? Don't play with them folks over there.
Can't play with them, man.
It's a whole different world over there.
So, guess what?
Don't play with them.
I'm going to tell you where it hit home. I'm going to show you where it hit home. Cyril White does business he's an American. He's from our community. He does business over there. Back and forth. That's going to affect him. He didn't tell me this, but I know how this thing work over there. Hey, people, watch your reckless tweets. If this not hold up, and if they'll do it to him, imagine what he'll do it to your black butt. So y'all better watch all of this reckless tweeting and Twitter, whatever y'all call it.
Instagram.
So got a question. So what you're saying, Hatter? So you're saying if a person believes in something and they believe in it, to hush their mouth?
No, I said don't tweet it. You
don't have to tweet
everything.
That's what Twitter.
He believe in his wife. He believe in doing some other stuff. He ain't tweeting it about. No, that ain't what Twitter. That's not what Twitter is for.
Twitter's not to make you
no, wait a minute. Not people. Let me tell you something. All I'm saying, you can tweet it all you want, Mr. Man. I ain't telling you not to. But there's consequences with your actions. Mr. Jimmy Hicks, you can tweet it all you want to. Just be able to understand when your ass get fired or them consequences coming at you, then you can speak out all you want. You can speak out all you want. I'm not telling you not to.
Ask Antonio Brown what putting on Instagram to do to you.
Yeah, shut the hell up. You don't have to. I'm a GM. I make millions of dollars a year. I'm going to get on here and tweet like these clowns that tweet. No, I'm not going to use that. No, I'm not going to do it.
That's what's going on with Jimmy, with 45 in China. Like, you can't get in the middle of that, man.
Okay, so tell me this. So if that's the case, then, so what you're saying is, if you're in a position of power, then, in which I totally understand accountability. That's what I preach that to people all day, every day. I'm at the top of the flagpole preaching the accountability factor. I mean, if you're going to do it, be accountable for your decisions. So that means for those who knowingly make a decision to do so, then and they're willing to accept the consequences. A lot of people aren't. Now, one that I can see is Adam Silver is now planning to meet with Yao Ming, and he acknowledged that Yao Ming is pissed off. How would he know Yao Ming is pissed off? Why? Because somebody that they both probably know probably have relayed that information to him, and they didn't know him. Man, Yao Ming is pissed, man. And so they're planning to meet on Wednesday.
So back to what your comment, Jimmy.
Guys. Let me say something real quick, Hatter. Jimmy, like Hatter made a point about your power. You have an awesome responsibility. Jimmy, they're talking about the pay for play stuff. There are coaches out there that know damn well those players should get paid, but you ain't heard not one of them come out and say anything.
Three did yesterday.
Okay, yesterday. Let me tell you something. You're not gonna get an AD. There might be ADs on that committee that think the same way, but I guarantee they won't say it. They will not.
No, they're coming out.
can't.
What I think happened, Chris, I think that which you're not totally wrong. But what happens is once that one coach, which just on yesterday, when Mike Krzyzewski came out and took a stance and sided with the California on the pay-for-play act. Mike, here's what I'll quote what Coach K said. He says, I don't and I won't pretend to understand all the complexities of such a change. Say, however, it is a sign of the times that we in college athletics must continually adapt, albeit in a sensible manner. He says, while we have made significant progress in recent years, we have not always responded to the needs and rights of our players. Swiftly and frankly, we're playing catch up after years of stagnant rules. Coach K basically went on and said a lot more, but then in his conversation, then Mike Bray, who's the head coach at Notre Dame, he's jumped in, and also
right?
Louisville's Chris Mack jumped in as well. So, but after Coach K, Coach K now has opened the door, because if you're going to punish, and understand, he has a different type of job security than the next guy. We got to understand that. The next guy ain't as stable. And we understand that as well. That's why a lot of guys will talk to us all day about this behind closed doors or with a cold one in front of them. But this stuff with the pay-for-play, how about this? Do you realize that in Florida right now, there are 2 bills, not one, but 2 bills of similar stature that are on the table, right? I'll go through the road. That's Florida. That's 2 bills, right? And in Illinois, right, they already have a bill in place that has 9 co-sponsors already. That's in Illinois. When we talked about Illinois last week, because that's a big player in this stuff. How about Kentucky, which ain't a huge basketball fertile ground, but they have a bill in works. Minnesota, right? They plan to introduce a bill in 2020. Nevada has multiple politicians on record that's going to produce a bill out of Nevada. New York, we talked about him. New York bill is different because this guy, not only do he wants to have fair pay to play, but he wants to make 15% of the revenue go to the players in the major football and basketball revenue generating sports. Pennsylvania, they're seeking a bipartisan group of legislatures to sign onto their bill before formally introducing it.
So think about it, Jimmy. Why do you think Coach K is coming out? Because they see where it's going. It took the freaking, man, come on, man. Everybody know. You know what the NCAA, if I was the NCAA, right? If I was the NCAA, this is a funny thing. I was supposed to be on a Tamron Hall show on yesterday. I told Hal on ABC. And I said, look, just so y'all know, this is a true story. My agent called me. I was supposed to be on the show. And I said, well, I had to tell my agent, just so you know, I'm for the players getting paid. And man, I'm telling you, the next day I got a call, says, guess what? And they switch gears. They want to get somebody that's talking about them not getting paid. I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to get on there and perjure myself and talk about how they shouldn't get paid so I can be on that show. The bottom line is they should get paid. I can discuss both sides. At the end of the day, Jimmy, every time they talk to these guys, guess what they say every time? Well, we do admit there needs to be some changes. They say it every time. Well, we do admit we need to do this. So what are we talking about then? But you're right, Jimmy. Coach K comes out. I want to see one of the people on the committee come out that disagrees with Gene Smith. But you know what, Hatter? I guarantee they won't tweet it, Hatter. I guarantee they know they're in a position of power.
You know what?
They won't do that.
You know what, Chris? We live in a society that people, since Mark Zuckerberg and those people who own Twitter, who got Twitter and Instagram, we let those, since now you can instantly run your mouth on about a topic so much that you get put in jail or they have to censor you, and you don't understand the importance of watching what you say on in public record, how it can come back and haunt you later. I'm not talking about the Hong Kong situation. I'm, sir, and whoever think, I'm not talking about Hong Kong. I'm not talking about China. I'm talking about why you have to tweet it. It's several world-changing things that happening in my life this week and over the last point. Great thing. You think I'm gonna tweet it? Y'all got to be at your rabbit mind to sit up here and think, I'm here at home, sitting here telling me, man, let me tweet this.
Man, Hatter, that's what people are doing, though, Hatter.
Folks got to be out their mind.
Instagram.
I tweet,
Hatter, that's
so much money.
So I got a question. So do you not, if just say pushing forward, and soon enough it's going to be probably diagnosed and identified medically. Do you not think that there's a possibility that being addicted to social media is
yes,
treated?
Absolutely.
It's intoxicating.
Okay, so when you just said, Hatter, what you just said, then think about what you just said. You just charged against people who tweeting or posting things on social media, and a lot of those people may be addicted and maybe follow.
Excuse me, I'm not going to take back what I said. Go get some help, then. I'm not taking back what the hell I said.
Well,
yes, that's the way. Excuse me, Jimmy. That's my opinion on it. That's how I feel about it. If you're sick, go get help. If you're scared, call the police. I mean,
but how? Okay, if it was drugs, people just can't go get help just at the snap. Like, it takes phases and layers. That means, first of all, you got to accept responsibility. Accept the problem.
You don't have to have this. You can cut this thing off if you wanted to.
But if you are addicted to it, and you just said it, so if it's a condition that you have,
I said intoxicating. It's only intoxicating when you drink it. If you put it down, it's only intoxicating. The drugs ain't no good until you pick them up.
Here's my thing, though. Tell me when tweeting got you a job. I've never seen tweeting get someone a job, but I've seen tweeting lose a whole lot of people a job. And my thing is, there is a responsibility with social media. I'm sorry, like people think just because we have social media, you should do it. No, there's a part of branding. If you're a business, or you put your life out there, and then you want to get mad when people judge you and chop you up. Don't put it out there. I get what Daryl Morey was trying to do, but you got to understand the Hong Kong and China relationship. You got to understand what you get in the middle of when you say that stuff. That thing has been going on for a long time. And when he came out basically supporting Hong Kong, China's like, hold on, man. We do all this business with y'all. We give all this money to the NBA, and we are finally, Hong Kong has come to a point where they got to be a part of China again. And you can't do that.
Chris
Walker, you can't do it.
You got 200 NBA stores there. 200.
Can't do it.
The TV market over there is twice what we have over here. We got 300 million people over here in the United States. They got 300 million people that playing basketball over there. So, of course, this you can sit and make excuses and, well, maybe he's addicted. Well, he needs some help. Maybe he's addicted. I'm not making no excuse. You do not have, because guess what? We tell our players that. So guess what? What if our kids? What if these high school players, you, Jimmy, been running your mouth talking about, well, they tweet. Maybe they might be addicted too. So everybody's addicted. So if you're addicted, you can't say nothing about them because they're addicted. Yes, I can. And you have too. So let's not get so sanctimonious on that one.
I do believe that some of those guys, especially in Houston, are addicted to social media because when they start going back and forth with each other, I'm like, man, what are you doing, man? Like, stop doing that.
Exactly.
You want to get a job one day, and you just don't understand the danger of what you're doing because that's a choice that you're making. No one's making you do that. Stop going back and forth or liking stuff that's crazy. Like, I don't get it. I understand it's a sign of the times, but I'm telling you right now, people that are smart, right? You got to handle it with care because it's a very dangerous tool. Very dangerous.
Very dangerous too. Because I know a lot of introverts who don't say nothing in person, Jimmy and Chris. I know some people right now won't speak to you or walk by, but they get on there and turn into something else. Oh my goodness. They turn into what you said, Superman. They be robbing.
Oh yeah.
Out in the street, they turn into Superman when they got that thing in their hand. So
making Twitter and Instagram richer and richer. Keep on. I mean, you're taking care of them. I wish I invented it.
But think about this. Look how much in money he's costing his employer. And
why is he still employed? How about that?
Wow.
Why is he still employed, Jimmy?
Got the complexion for protection for collection. That's why.
Look what's happening. I'm trying to figure out why is he still employed. Why? Because I don't get it, man. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not saying he should be fired, but
no.
Okay, Chris,
figure out how he still got the
okay,
job.
understand something. Why he still has his job? Because and here's understand one of the reasons. First of all, he's an American, and as an American, you have the right for freedom of speech. And what he did was he exercised his right, albeit maybe circumstance and consequence that come behind it, maybe, but he exercised his right for freedom of speech. And then the commissioner of the league, let me just quote you what Adam Silver said so that you guys will be up to speed. Adam Silver said while he was talking earlier this morning about preparing to meet with Yao Ming on Wednesday, he says that that he and the league, they're apologetic, right, over the outcome and the reaction that followed Daryl Morey's tweet, which showed support for the protesters in Hong Kong. But he noted that we, the NBA, are not apologizing for Daryl exercising his freedom of expression. You see? That's what Adam Silver says. This is the commission. What do you say about that, Chris?
I mean, because he's a very liberal guy. You know, we got 9. Not that it's any offense to him. You got 9 women coaching in the NBA now. You could whatever side you want to be on with that. That's fine. He is putting mandates down to make the game extremely global, and he in support of his players. He did it with LeBron James and Carmelo and Chris Paul, and he's extending the same courtesy to Daryl Morey. But still, there is a responsibility. He may say that public facing, but I guarantee you there's a call in the back going like, Daryl, don't you ever do that again. Do you understand how much work we put into putting China in play? Do you understand the stuff since David Stern, man? The things that we've done for years and the money that we have made? And why did you have to tweet it? You didn't have to do it. You could have felt it, but you didn't have to do it. You're not a politician. If a politician had done it, no one would have said a word. Can't do it, man.
Okay, so
unwritten rule, man. Certain things, Jimmy, some things are unwritten rules.
Understand something. You guys know that there's been a pre-existing degrading relationship or degraded relationship between the president of our country, the standing president of the United States of America, and the leader of China. China already ain't feeling good about America. This decision, and as you see every day, think about it. I mentioned earlier that the people in Shanghai, they canceled the Brooklyn Nets. I said New Jersey Nets, but the Brooklyn Nets and their court dedication. The cell phone company they're cutting their ties. A couple other companies have cut their ties already. Not saying they're going to do so. They are already, and we just got a text with a picture from supposedly somebody in China that are painting over a mural on the wall with Yao Ming wearing a Houston Rocket jersey. So if they've already made a decision, think about it. That means we're not saying they're going to halt. They're saying they're cutting off. If they don't want you there, if they don't want to deal with you, us being America, then to hell with them. You already got the terrorists and threatened to put the terrorist ups on them, and they threatened to put their terrorists up on us 30, 40% higher. I mean, understand at some point in time, what Daryl Morey did, it may not have been.
What's it got to do with the NBA, man?
What you mean? This is hold on.
45 could have done all that stuff, and they still would have cheered for LeBron and Kobe.
They wasn't fans. I'm talking about the government. The government are not fans of the United States.
Forget about the government. All those people over there, if you've been over there, they love the NBA. Love the NBA. And all I'm saying
is, treat me well when I go over there.
No matter what 45 said, no matter what 45 doing, they still buying jerseys over there, man.
And
Chris, Klay Thompson selling all kind of shoes over there.
Chris, let me help you, Chris. And same 45 he talking about used to buy his steel from over there to build his buildings. Let me repeat that so we can get that. So the people in the back. This same 45 used to buy steel from China instead of the United States and bring it over here to build his buildings.
Yeah, used to. Is what happened now?
I don't care what happened now. Ain't nothing. But guess what? NBA hadn't had no problems with them people. Daryl Morey ran his mouth on this stupid little telephone and ran his mouth and caused an avalanche of problems for people. You talking about the political side. Y'all can talk that mess off. You can go there. You can go protest all you want to. And I'm sorry, Chris.
So understand something. So if Adam Silver would have said, "We apologize, China," then
you can't say that.
I ain't talking about that. What are you talking about? All I'm saying is, this is what I'm saying. Daryl Morey tweeted his butt about what's happening in Hong Kong, but I ain't never seen his behind tweet nothing about what's going on right here in America.
Amen.
Now, how about that? Man, I'm done. Y'all,
it ain't just a Daryl Morey. Here they put the microphone.
That's what I'm talking about. That's who started it. The firestorm.
Okay, but understand something. The firestorm, that part is started. I'm talking about the reluctance. So if it was so bad, then why the NBA said we sorry?
I'm not talking about no sorry.
What you
said? I'm not talking about no sorry.
If it was so, understand. If it was so bad. So first of all, do you think the people in Hong Kong that's demonstrating right now, do you think that they need to sit their hands down and they're demonstrating wrongly? First of all, do you feel?
What do you mean sit down? Why should they have to sit down?
I'm saying, so you think they shouldn't be demonstrating? They shouldn't be fighting for their rights?
Nobody said that. I'm talking about Daryl Morey, who's an American. I've never seen him tweeting about the social injustice that we have. I've never seen him tweet about Kaepernick, but he tweeting about something all the way across the world. That's all I'm saying.
He's tweeting about something that He's tweeting about something that mattered to him.
Well, guess what?
But think about what you're saying.
Okay, you ain't thinking. You're not
think about what you're saying. This dude, we got stuff going on over here, and he goes over there and does that, and it affects the business. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, we all been there. He fell prison to the moment. And anybody knows Daryl Morey knows that Daryl Morey is one of the most egotistical owners in the league. GMs in the league, period. Very egotistical.
Yes.
And guess what? His ego got the best of him. And as Hatter always says, think before you press send. He could have had that conversation with everybody where you did not have to press send. That's all I'm saying. And look what the firestorm. And here's the point, Jimmy. The lesson, and forget about the NBA, forget about this. And I think that's what Hatter's saying. The lesson is think about stuff before you do it.
Yes.
Think about the consequences. If he had known, think about it this way, Jimmy, and I'll give it to the Boom Boom Room. If Daryl Morey knew that all this would happen because he pressed send, do you think he would have done it, Jimmy?
Absolutely not.
So that's your answer right there.
Thank you,
He wouldn't have done it.
I'm saying, listen what I'm saying. I'm saying he has a right, though, to do it.
I'm not saying that. But if he knew what he knew now, he would not have done that. So cooler heads would prevail. I would have been like, you know what? I really want to tweet that the president is a such and such. I really want to tweet it. And everybody might agree with me. But then all of a sudden, when I try to get a job, they're going to be like, sir, we can't hire you. You tweet. Yeah, but I got a right. I'm an American. I got freedom of speech. We get it, but you ain't getting this job. You know what I'm saying?
But I got a right.
With everything.
Hold on, no. I got a right to kneel. Yeah, we got a right not to hire you, Colin. That's what we got to understand, man, is consequences to your actions. You can go, not one time did I say, Daryl, don't you ever do that, Daryl. All I said was, dude, look what you caused. You're supposed to be a leader. You know who I love in this whole thing? Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook sitting right next to James Harden, and James Harden was running his mouth. Russell Westbrook did this here. I ain't got nothing to say about this mess. Man, he probably don't. If I don't understand something, and guess what? Bless his little heart, Daryl Morey. All I'm saying is think before you press send, just like y'all telling these young high school players, think before you press send. That's all I'm saying. That's all.
I mean, that's a number of historical situations I can talk about where people would have done something, and from what happened in Germany with the Jews to what happened in Africa, like I can talk, and somebody would have made a comment that it's like sometimes you got to understand, man, it's certain things that are just above your clearance, above your. You just gotta stay out of it. You got to stay out of it. If you Cory Booker, you might be able to comment on it. But Chris Walker, I'm going to stay in my lane.
So bottom line is, if a person is in, it just depends on the status on the person, what the person is willing to risk. If a person knows and willing, that's like me. I just got up and said I could give two shits about China. I don't give two shits about China. That's me willing to say on that stand. You might not be willing to say it because it may affect your job.
Why would you say that?
Because I don't. You understand? Because I don't. They don't own us. They don't own America.
But Jimmy, let me say this. What if we had people that were Chinese that listened to this show?
Think about that. Understand?
How would they be offended that you say that? So,
understand this. And what happens is that person will either get me kicked off of Facebook, which I wouldn't give two shits about that. And I'm willing to take the sacrifice. That's what I'm saying to you. If you're willing to stand up for something, then you got to be willing to accept what comes with it. Everybody that's each his own. If I'm willing to do that, then that's on me.
I don't want you to do that. I'm not going to say I don't give two shits.
So I'm just saying, so it's not a big thing. I've lived my life. I got no biological.
Yeah, but you don't feel that way. I don't think you really feel that way.
Well, no. I don't. That's what I'm saying. It's a difference in me saying I didn't say Chinese people. I'm saying the establishment, for what they are hammering down and based on their decisions that they've made in the last 48 hours. That's what I mean. I said I can give two shits about the establishment. Now, understand, I'm not talking about one particular person and everybody wrapped up in one. I'm talking about the government. That's like in America. We've said it in America. A lot of people said we can give two shits about what's happening in the White House, right?
But a lot of people, you got to realize, man, a lot of people don't even understand what the governments are. They don't understand what our government is. Number one. You got people that live in our country that look down on people that come from Mexico, especially living in Texas. Like I can say 9 million things and give a straight up history lesson here. All I'm saying is to say that you don't care about them. There are people that could be listening to our show that are Chinese. They may have family in China. Sometimes we just don't need to get in the middle of that. That's all I'm saying. It's not our fight. That's all I'm gonna say. It's not our fight. But again, if you want to make that comment, that's up to you. I'm just saying it ain't my fight, man. I don't know what people going through over there. I don't know. I've been there. You have. And the other thing is, Jimmy, you haven't been there.
I haven't been there, and I'm not going there.
You don't know that. How do you know that?
Understand something. I'm a convicted felon, so I can't go out of place. I can go there, but I'm not going to go there and get held up by customs. I'm not risking it. I'm not going. You ain't going to hold me up in customs and ask me no question and keep me over there and hide me out. I'm not going. So, I mean, certain things in life, you got to be willing to understand that your boundaries. I can't go work for
So
ESPN
because
or go work for them. I don't have a desire to do so. I'm
Hey,
gonna be
because
the hood famous guy for till I get about 70 and I lay it down and
so
go
you
to
gonna be
die.
Frank. What's the dude? What's the dude? Frank. What's his name? The drug dealer back in the day. Frank.
Frank Lucas.
What's his name?
Frank Lucas.
Frank Lucas. So you're just gonna be Frank Lucas. You know?
Yeah, that's understand. That's all. Understand. That's all I desire to be.
That's all. That's it.
And me and Howard
I
talked about this
respect
a long time ago.
Yeah,
He knows that.
I told him he wanted to be king of the hood. I want to be king of the world.
That's all.
I respect
That's
that.
all.
I respect
When
that.
I'm gonna tell you something. If I died tomorrow, I guarantee you it's already written. They're gonna put the casket and they're gonna drive down Homestead in Northeast Houston. Like Biggie did, they're gonna roll my ass down Homestead Road. And and I guarantee you what's gonna happen. It's gonna be people on both sides of the street when I'm gone. Out there, they can go and put me on in the plot in the grave, but that's what they're gonna do first. They leave the church, they're gonna roll that casket down Homestead. And you remember what I said? I'm telling you, watch what happens.
They definitely not gonna roll by the park because it's a baseball field. Because you ain't got one hit, and we know what's going on with this.
They might throw some tomatoes at his man.
He roll by the park. They gonna be like that bum.
Hey man, this is a great subject. I mean,
that's good.
I'm just not gonna. I mean, this stuff is crazy, man. I mean, boy, they tweeting and texting. Hey, don't text me. Tweet it. I mean, tweet it. Be like Daryl Morey. Hey, don't be texting some people trying to text me. Tweet it. Be like Daryl Morey with your bad self. But
no, you're right about that. You're right about that.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. But listen, man. At the end of the day, no matter what Jimmy says, I'm telling people right now.
Right.
We live it every day. Man, be careful what you put out there. Be careful what you put out there because it's your choice. Every action starts with a thought. Mm-hmm. So no matter what, you're not thinking when you put stuff, or you respond to people. Just what you put out there, because guess what? You're responsible for the consequences. Period. Do not get upset when people respond in a way that you don't think they should respond. Everybody don't think you're smart. Everybody don't think you're cute. Everybody don't think your baby's cute. Everybody don't think your mama's cute. And everybody don't think what you say is the right thing to say. So if you're going to put it out there, be responsible for it. What has Daryl Morey said since he said that? Did he apologize? Don't apologize. If that's what you feel, do not apologize.
That's what you believe in. Yeah.
Don't apologize.
But he retracted it.
Why he retracted it? You know why he retracted it? Because he wanted to keep his job. That's why.
Man,
because
Jimmy.
You know what? They told him to.
Hey, China done turned Jimmy off. Hey,
he needs to be more like Jimmy.
Hey, China done turned Jimmy off. Jimmy done came off the screen. China done turned his ass clean off. Hey, y'all talking this stuff. And Anthony Weston, I'm following you. You're talking about your pride and political status is costing me millions. I understand that. That's you. So let it keep costing you millions. If that was my fight over in China, maybe I would go do something about it a little better. Cause me tweeting about it, ain't that shit happen. Hey, excuse me, Lord. Ain't nothing happened, but I done lost billions of dollars for everybody else. I just didn't, Daryl Morey didn't just affect himself, Anthony Weston. He affected others. So
we thought them people got you, Jimmy.
Yeah. Well, they got it, man. The fans had it,
man. Listen, before any of these people continue to talk about this subject,
right,
and go out and put something on social media based on this show, you better make sure that no one from China has interest in that company, because you're gonna get the pink slip the next day. So you better be careful.
Jimmy, guess what?
And make sure before you say something.
Guess who else I found out today? ESPN partners with a company in China. Did you know that? They got a great partnership with a company in China. So everybody is affected. Yeah, Anthony Weston, you watch ESPN. You know, I mean it's all I'm saying is, and I promise y'all, I looked up what was going on over there. Believe you me, I looked it up. But let me tell you something. Robert Hatter's not going to tweet about it. If I felt the urge to do something about it, get my butt on a plane and go over there. I got a lot of miles. I go over there right now and say Hoka, but that's just not my fight. I'm trying to help Colin Kaepernick and them over here. Let's get my people right first, and then I go over there and help everybody else. I'm sorry. Charity starts at home. So, Chris, Jimmy.
Hey, I feel you.
Charity starts at home.
Hey, I don't want them people to come cut Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy, who has your internet? They ain't one of those companies, is it?
I ain't gonna tell you.
we might not have on the show.
You know what? See,
well, he don't care. He'll get another company.
He'll get another company.
Understand something. When you see, here's the thing that I'm getting out of this. Think about how swiftly that China has reacted and put stuff into place to crack their whip. What my underlying point is, it woke me up to a whole different thing. And think about what America and what some corporations are saying right now that's already affected by the decision. For example, even the small things is the dedication ceremony that's been canceled.
That wasn't small.
Well, think about the people that went into play that was going to get paid for working it. Thinking about the announcers. Think about it's a ripple effect. Mm-hmm. But those people made the decision. They don't care about that. So my thing is, if we as a people, we know it, we've been taught it at some point in juncture in our lives. If you galvanized at some point and made swift decisions to hurt people in their pockets, trust me, you get their attention.
Well, they got our attention. They got our attention. They got our attention. But Jimmy, we all know this is coming because of 45, man. Everybody got to know this is the residue of 45. Period. This has to do with 45 and the way he's coming at China. I'm just telling you.
If Chris, sometimes we got to look at this thing, man. You know, and I'm not protecting China. I don't do business in China at all. I'm just sitting back watching this situation happen. All the man did is tweet it. And his tweets affect a whole lot of people. My thing, I wanted to get everything else I said. This is what I want. This is what I really want you. I'm just telling you, be a little bit more responsible when you tweeting it, because you might affect other people. That's all. That's all the thing I'm saying. And I ain't telling you if you got your opinion. Yes, okay, but understand it's consequences. That's all. That's all I want.
I'll say this, and Jimmy made a point about them making swift, taking swift action towards us. I want to see, Under Armour, Nike, clothing companies, everybody that do business over there, pull your companies out there. They're not going to do it, Jimmy. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. Now, they took that action against us, but I guarantee you we're not going to take that action against them. Because like you said, if they do that, a lot of people going to lose jobs, man. A lot of people going to lose jobs. And we're not, as Americans, we're not going to stand firm like that. We too much about the money. We're too capitalistic. We ain't doing that.
So what if we do?
We're not going to do that.
If Nike pull out and come to the United States, all them guys pull out and come to the United States,
they got to pay all them taxes.
Wouldn't that be better?
But they got to pay out. But it's the reason why they went over there in the first place. Though.
I know.
The shoes would go up. The prices of the shoes would go up.
They're gonna charge them like they do the ball. The ball.
Exactly.
And that's one of the repercussions and the thoughts of doing so. So that means now this thing is gonna make people have to think about it, because some people are gonna say, "Hey, y'all hush, don't say nothing." And some people that don't have a dog in the fight, guess what? You might hear them bark a little bit, and that's what that's one. Anyway, it's great convo.
Great.
And you guys, I got to go to the feed real quick.
And you guys,
I got to go to the feed, Jimmy. This is for Jimmy, because this is speaking of Jimmy's thing.
Okay.
Christopher Calvin says, "I wish black people had people like power like China." We do have power like China.
We do. We don't utilize it. We didn't
exercise it.
That's understand. China, first of all, China has multitudes of more people populated than we do in the United States. And they do. We have 35 million people in the USA.
No, we got 300 million. They got.
350 million. Hell, they got that many just basketball fans.
Yeah.
Right? And but at the same time, just pay attention to the revelations of stories that are about to come as a result of this. I'm curious to see how this plane is going to land on this and how soon it lands. If there were going to be a falling head of this, if somebody got to be the sacrificial lamb and Daryl Morey do have to lose his job. I said it yesterday. I say, had this been the head coach of the Rockets, he would have to ride a different plane back to the United States. They would have fired his ass yesterday. I guarantee, because he's already expendable. Daryl Morey, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of him and Tim Fertitta. They, from what I understand, they kind of boys. They all right. But we'll see how it goes on this. You can be boys, but when you start messing with my bread, you see how different things take a different turn.
You know what Jerry Jones did to Jimmy Johnson. I don't know about that boy stuff. Come on now.
Yeah. You start messing with my bread. So,
Jimmy, let me give you my starting five. I didn't put them on the screen. Doug Jones, Melvin Dews, Chris Charles, Corey Willis, and Anthony Weston were the starting five for the day. I didn't forget you, fellas. I just didn't put you on the screen because they got me a little hot and bothered around here. But I'm all right now.
Hey, got you hot and bothered.
But Jimmy, don't forget.
TSU hadn't won a game in football all season. I didn't give a damn who they lost to. You just couldn't lose to Alabama A&M.
They did. When? See, I don't keep up with it. That's who they lost to this weekend.
Huh? In overtime.
Tell me, Anthony Weston school?
Yeah. TSU is at an all-time low. I don't know what to say, man. TSU. We lost to Alabama A&M, y'all. We lost to Alabama, the School of Agriculture and what is it called? A&M.
Agriculture and mining.
And mining. Alabama School of Agriculture and Mining we lost to, man. I know it's a hell of a day. It's a hell of a day. But guess what? It's homecoming this weekend. And at TSU, get what? At TSU, who we playing this weekend? We playing Missouri
School of the Blind.
S&T. Missouri S&T for homecoming. I don't give a damn if they playing Forest Brook High School. We gonna party like it's 1999 over
Chris, what the S&T mean, Chris? What's the S&T?
No, it's gonna be started. I can't say it. We're not supposed to say it on.
The S&T?
I tweeted.
No, Missouri S&T. No, man. What does that mean?
Again, I tweeted.
Okay. All right. Okay.
S&T means sorry and terrible. That's what it means.
Wow.
I'm going, man. Hey,
no, man. S&T stands for Science and Technology, for real. For those y'all don't know.
My bad. I was talking about their football team. My bad.
So, anyway, guys. Hey,
Hold up. No. This is a basketball show. Somebody just gonna tell us we can't talk about football on this show.
Oh my God, yeah.
No. That was Stacy gonna try to tell me a minute ago. But no, But let's get out of here, man. Hey, Jimmy, you gonna do this thing. What else you got?
Hold on. You gotta play my song. You gotta play my song now. You gotta play the commercial ad, baby. Throw the commercial.
You ain't saying
what we got coming up on the top?
Jim Hicks. Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop.
That what you wanted, Jimmy? Or you had another song? That what you wanted?
I think the people on the Facebook feed can hear it, but I can't. We can't hear it, Hatter.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
They heard Adam Silver. You're not gonna hear that if you got to have a feed going. Chris, I done told you that.
I'm with you. I'm just telling Jimmy we can't.
And by the way, Jimmy, Adam Silver was playing, and they said that they could hear him, but y'all couldn't hear him. You're not gonna hear him, Chris. Okay, unless you got a other feed going. Thank y'all. Thank y'all out there.
Hey, listen. I just want to make sure. I want to know what kind of car they driving that Jimmy in his casket in when he driving him down on Rosewood.
He gonna have a horse. He gonna have a horse. Jimmy.
He gonna have a horse and buggy.
A horse-driven carriage.
No.
Come on, Jimmy. Do it like the Imitation Lane.
No, he can't be a home.
Come on, man.
Not on Homestead.
You can't
Not
block
on
traffic that
Homestead.
long. Now you got to hear them get on down the street. It's Homestead. You got to,
Okay.
you know.
All right.
But anyway,
See-
guys, hey,
okay.
appreciate it. Hey, don't forget, guys, tonight, Houston Astros in action against Tampa Bay. And guess what? Verlander's on the mound.
What
Tell us
time?
about
What
oh,
time?
baby, let's go.
Short rest.
Jim Hicks.
Close this thing out. Close it out. Anyway, guys, appreciate
Rob
it.
Hatter.
2 hours, man. Don't forget.
You
share
are now
the show.
tuned in
Done so.
to the Chop
Share
Shop.
today's show.
I'm Retro. Let's
Got
get it.
15. Come on now. I'm like,
We
oh,
in the
Christian
chop
Lewis.
shop, we live in the chop shop.
Come on up.
We talking
Share the
sports
show.
talk, we live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, we live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop.